Welcome back to those of you whom it may concern. Today I got a new glowshift oil pressure gauge. And this is pretty much everything I ordered. I had to order the sandwich plate because originally I was going to just put it right into the normal input for the pressure sensor, but it was just too difficult because my arms are so damn thick and I can't get up in there. So what we've got right here is the sandwich plate. This is going to go on right where the oil filter goes on. This is going to screw in, actually I think like that, and then the oil filter is going to screw in there. It's going to make a gasket, a seal. Then we have our sensor. This is going to go right into the side on one of these holes here. And we have our wiring. I think this is going to go from the sensor up to the gauge itself in the housing. And then this is going to go from our fuse box where we're going to connect all these expandable circuits to the gauge. And then this I'm going to have to put onto the A pillar. So that's pretty much the project right there. Why I want to make this video mainly is because I've never seen someone do this on a stock D16Y8 Civic. Everyone that I've seen make a decent video about it has put it onto a swapped car, an Integra, something like that. So since even in the age of the internet we can't find good information about how to do these things, I thought it would be nice to just make a little video. Even though it's not really that hard to figure out, and I think I can do it just fine without a tutorial, and I think anyone else could, I think it's just nice to have that confidence to see someone else do it. So let's get started. Now let's try to get these on the jack points. Let's see how this thing performs. So while we're down here, I'm going to be doing my best to get camera angles that are appropriate. But honestly, the installation of this thing is pretty straightforward. You take this little guy, you put it in like an oil filter with the sandwich plate. You tighten it down a little bit more than hand tight, and then you install your oil filter on top. So I finally managed to get that fucking oil filter off. I think I'm gonna place this and have the sensor coming out to the left. Yeah, to the left. And then we place this. And the instructions say that it's supposed to be only a little more than hand tight. So I'm going to get in there with a wrench and I'm going to tighten it down. And there we go. That is our sandwich plate. A sandwich plate. I skipped ahead a little bit. I skipped the boring part. Basically, you put your sandwich plate and then you put the nut in the middle, and then you put on your oil filter. Now I have to feed down the wire down to here and then find a way to get through the firewall. So that's next. Here's the engine bay. What I'm gonna do is I taped this end of the wire to a screwdriver, and I'm just gonna try to find my way down. That didn't work. I think that's it. Yep. Now it's just kind of dangling under the car. Okay, so here's our cable. There. Boom. plugged in there. I don't think we ever have to come back down here again. So I removed the little grommet that lives in there behind the clutch fluid. The clutch pedal fluid. And then I went in there with a drill, and it turns out it goes straight under my feet. So that's perfect. Now the trouble is going to be trying to find out how to route this in. So I think how we might have to do that is to attach it to this or some other kind of stiff wire and then just push it through. So I'm going to try that. So I just attached the end of this wire to the end of this drill bit. It's nice and skinny. Should be able to fit in there. And poke it through. Alright, so I'm back. This is actually a couple months later after installing our oil pressure gauge. And after getting through the firewall up there, you can see pretty clearly where it pokes through. What I did was I crimped our connectors to our expandable circuits, and the part that was complicated for me was figuring out which input in the fuse box was the right one. So first of all, an important part of our harness was the ground, and I've just grounded that to a surface right here, bare metal surface. And our pod right here, which is kind of self-explanatory. I just cut some holes and use these push pins to hold them in. And that's where our gauge is holding. What I had to do was I took off the A-pillar, and then I put in the gauge into the pod, ran the wires down this way and then out through here. Then the wires come down here, and the important part is where you plug in your expandable circuits. So I'll just do a rundown of where exactly they go. Orange goes to number 22, left headlight low beam. So I think it can go to either 21 or 22. I think this is what turns it on the dimmer. This is our red wire. This one goes to number 9, the ignition coil. So this is the one that starts. Yellow is 23, which is an SRS, which I'm pretty sure is our constant power. When you first start the car, it just does the spinny thing, and then when I turn on my lights, it dims. You can't really tell in the video, but it dims. So that's how you install a glowshift oil pressure gauge onto a 1996 Civic using expandable circuits and oil filter sandwich plate. It's relatively easy. So thank you all for watching. I'm going to have some new content out hopefully soon, and good night.
Let's roast these bitches.